All right, good day, good day. As we close the week, as we finish the week, I'm just going to do a little forecast based on levels or based on where I feel like price is going, according to the market structure we have. So starting off with US 30 on the 4 hour, you will see now price is now trading above our psychological level. We do agree that this is looking like a peak formation low. So I'm anticipating price to be bullish. So with that in mind, we just open the daily just to confirm. You see we've already found support on the dynamic 50 EMA, and we also found support on this level here. So we got a break and now we're finding the support. So I'm looking forward for price to trade back into this level here. It looks like we're already back into this imbalance as well, which was my point of interest initially. So most likely price will push into the 200 EMA. So I've got a bullish bias going into today's trading session. So what am I looking for here? Here I'm just looking for a retracement back into the 13, or most likely maybe back into the zone, which is also in line with this broken level from Friday. So if price can retrace into that area and give me a nameable pattern or a nameable candle, then I'm going to execute a buy. All right, so what you can also do here, let's see if we can run a fib just based off this push. Our point of interest will be right in this area here. Then we also have an imbalance here, which is a fair value gap, which is also in line with this order block. So price can still come a little bit lower, maybe take out these lows and come as low as this area before we get a buy. These are possible plays. So 2 points of interest. First one right here. Second one right here. All right, so let me just put arrows here. For now, this is my view. And these are my points of interest. Okay, so that's it for US 30. Going on to US 100. Let's see. So again, this one we've also broken above the psychological level of this week, and I'm still anticipating a bullish move. We do have a nice imbalance after a liquidity sweep. So we've got this imbalance here after this liquidity sweep. So for me, that's a point of interest for price to retrace into before we get a potential buy. Okay, what else do we see? We also have that liquidity sweep, like I said. And this looks like it's the peak formation low. So if you notice, I think there's a bit of divergence setup. Check this out. We've got US 30 creating high highs, and we've got Nasdaq creating a lower high. I think this is what ICT refers to as SMT divergence. I stand to be corrected, but yeah, it's something like this. Let me see what's happening with US 500. Okay, US 500 also had, it was looking like Nasdaq. It had a lower low. So lower lows for US 500, lower lows for Nasdaq, and higher low for US 30. So SMT divergence. So I'll be looking for buys as well on US 100. Point of interest, price can most likely come back into this range right here. Okay, so this is this order block which price left when it was retracing yesterday. So that area there is a point of interest. We've got this low here, which I feel like price might come take out liquidity here. This is pre-London session lows. So price can actually come take out liquidity right there. So you mark that area as a point of interest, number one. Then point of interest number two is this level here. We might get as low as maybe today's open price. That cannot be ruled out. We might come as low as the ADR low. But again, if price does that, then we might as well look for a sell. But for now, my points of interest are this one and this one. This is a point of interest, but I don't think price might come there, but it could. And today's open price as well. All right, so again, let me just put some arrows here. Okay, German 40, I had a buy in the morning. I had a buy in the morning. Looks like we also created a peak formation low here. We're trading above psychological level, so I'm looking for an expansion up. I don't think they'll come any lower. Okay, point of interest would be this order block from the London session. That's my main point of interest. If we can come there and retest that order block on H1, we can most likely get our entry from that area. The next point of interest would be around today's open price and maybe back as low as this area here, but I don't think we'll come that low though. So my main point of interest is this one, second point of interest. Then the last zone will be here. If we break this zone, then that could also be another setup actually forming. All right, so that's it for German 40. All right, gold. It looks to me like price wants to trade back into the range. What it simply means is from this low of this week to this high, that's the range we currently have. So price could simply do this on gold. So let's see, we had a nice liquidity sweep above these highs during the Asian session. So let's just see how H4 is looking. All right. We also are on a dynamic support, although I think it could easily be broken. Price could most likely still come towards the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. That's what I think. Back to this zone here, this zone you see from this particular week. So I'll be open to selling, but I think also let's see how price wants to react with on the 18 EMA on the daily. That could give us a better view of what gold wants to do. So seeing that TDI is almost above the 50, what they could do is we might have some form of a stop hunt here, like a day where we might have a week of or something along that line before this bullish move continues. That's a possible play with gold right now. Um, most likely come back towards the all-time highs, which are currently at 3,500. So I would say for gold, let's see how they react to the 13 EMA. Maybe we might have to wait for today's candle to close and most likely tomorrow as well. So gold, maybe the best week to trade it might be next week. We still need some uh, price action here, but here we respected this order block though. So that's the first start. We broke some structures here. So if we find our support here, price will most likely come back towards the all-time highs. But if we break now, then price might still come back to this area. If you notice, I do have this order block marked as a point of interest, these two red lines you see. So if we fail to find support here and we break that area, we most likely will be coming all the way back down to around 3,200. But if we find our support here, then price will most likely come back to the all-time highs. That's my view with gold. So for now, I think I'm just going to keep stoking it maybe on H1 for now. Let me see what they want to do. So if I see any pattern also showing me, like I said, sells, I can take that. We had a squeeze here, we had a baseline bounce here. If we can get a double baseline bounce, that will also be a sign that this price is going to drop all the way to the this week's open price, which is also a zone, our psychological level. So that will also mean that this is the peak formation high for this week. So we expect a stop and high rise. We might even get something like this. So points of interest would be today's open price and yesterday's lows. Those are my main points of interest. So let me just mark it like this. Okay, EU looks like it's selling just by looking at this market structure right now. We have to agree that price looks like we are in a sell motion. I think we are around this week's psychological level area. So it looks like we've set a peak, but if you notice, I also still have a point of interest right at the top here. This zone is still valid all the way up here. So that's still a point of interest for me at the top there. Okay. Right. If you're looking at this whole market structure from the 4 hour, this also looks like a peak. But now for us to have a valid peak here, I want to see price actually come below the zone, then maybe do this. Price is most likely coming all the way down here. So my points of interest, if that sell starts, will be the 200s, break, retests, and the 800. That will be my target based off this zone here. So that's a possible play which I would like to wait for on Euro USD. Right, I'm just checking market structure here. Check how price did equal highs here, clean equal highs. Wonder if somebody caught a sniper sell from that price point. Right, so our first break of market structure. So EU for now, for me, it looks like it's got clean market structure here. So it looks like here we got the first break of market structure. We had a failed swing here, right? Which means that this looks like the peak is locked right now. We also had a 1350 cross ID50 setup here. So what could now most likely happen is, okay, we got another break here. So we got a drop, a retracement, a drop. This could potentially be the retracement. So we could most likely come back towards the 50. That's a possible play right there. But if my price breaks this level, I think I might attack Euro USD with a sell stop as well. I might attack this with a sell stop. Yeah, most likely, I might do that. So let me just see other points of interest. So we are currently rejecting and finding resistance of today's open price, the 13 EMA, and yesterday's lows. So that zone could also hold price. That's why I'm going to opt for a possible sell stop here, potentially. But again, it will be good if we see this price come slightly higher, maybe towards the 200 EMA or even towards the 800, then get a reaction from there, then sell. I think that will be the better setup because this stop hunt, which will happen here, will be so crystal clear. And based off the market structure which we have right now, I think we'll be able to get a good sell all the way to the 800 EMA on H1. So I'd love to hear your views. I'd love to hear your views. But again, from all the setups I'm speaking on, my psychological level is my point of interest, basically. So if price comes back above now, this could be a peak formation low, and price could actually now expand to this zone, which I mentioned at the top here. So I'm open to just trading what the price shows me during my trading time. Then BTC, I missed this. I marked this yesterday. Okay, so that's a liquidity sweep here, which is within a zone, this big gray zone. I think it's a daily fair value gap, if I'm not mistaken. So it's an inverted fair value gap. We had a liquidity sweep, price pushed up. We left another fair value gap, which was tapped into here. So unfortunately, I missed the setup. I don't know why I missed. I think I forgot to set an alert. Okay, so we had a bounce off the 13, which actually happened yesterday. Oh yeah, I think it's because of the timing. The time where the setup formed, I was not on the charts. So you can see this was the 13 EMA on our 4 hour. That's also an ID50 setup. Peak formation low here. So this is just like an expansion, liquidity sweep, clean entry, acceleration, acceleration. So we could most likely come back into this order block and push up. That's the first thing I would say I would look for now. Okay, price can also come as low as this order block as well, which was left before price expanded up. So that's also a point of interest. And we also have the highs from yesterday, which is also a minor zone. So for now, those are my points of interest. I just want to see how they will respect those areas. I don't think Bitcoin will come below the zone. I think Bitcoin is now in bullish motion. Let's see. Yeah, most likely, especially with the price action on the daily, I don't think Bitcoin will come below this fair value gap here. You see this fair value gap I marked here? It has now been inverted, so price is now bullish. We are most likely going to come towards the all-time highs. Let's do a quick prediction. Where do you think price will be at the end of this month? I think it will be above 110. On Bitcoin, I think it will definitely be above 110. You can see the momentum coming from the weekly chart as well. I'm expecting price to give us an impulsive leg here, break this price point. Taking off from the Titan EMA there. If we break this order block here, we are gone. That's a monthly order block. If we break that order block there, price is gone. We're going to set the new all-time highs for sure. So I think Bitcoin, it would be nice if we can get an entry, then we hold. So for now, I've got point of interest number one, point of interest number two. I'll just combine this as one. Then I've got point of interest number three, which is this imbalance here. We might get back into this zone, but I don't think so. I don't think so. If we can get a nice retracement on the 4 hour, then we can buy Bitcoin and actually hold to this red line as our target initially. Then if we break, we know that that's a monthly order block which we are breaking, and Bitcoin will be going to set all-time highs. So I would love to get a retracement of some sort for me to actually jump into this trade. So if they start to retrace from where they are now, you can see my point of interest is as low as the second one we mentioned. So this whole area here, that's our buy zone on Bitcoin. So for now, that's my view. If my views change, we'll just see as the days continue. But for now, this is my view. Then these other assets, I don't really trade them. I just use them like for lessons and stuff like that. So for now, GU, I wanted to sell yesterday. I wanted to sell here on GU. I think it took me out. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to sell, took me out right here. New York session failed to expand higher. So what I see price doing here, this looks like a liquidity sweep right here. And it looks like this psychological level is still being respected as a support. And I'm anticipating price to still break and come towards this level here. So my bias really hasn't changed. It's just that I was a little bit too early into the trade. So where can I enter here? I would wait for a retracement. We also have a nice divergence setup as well, TDI and the price. So liquidity sweep, divergence. We've broken two order blocks. All I need to buy GU right now is a retracement. I think I might actually actively trade it again. All right, so the first thing which I noticed is there's a bit of momentum in the markets because this fair value gap has already been tested by just a pin bar, and price is already expanding from that area. So I see price coming back to the previous day's high. That's my draw on liquidity. So where can they retrace to? If they can still retrace into the Titan EMA, I would love to take that trade. Worst case scenario would be price coming back all the way into this order block here. So point of interest number one would just be the Titan EMA. Point of interest number two is this order block here. That's how I would attack GU right now. So yesterday I was also looking forward for price to get to the previous day's high. You can see this is what I had, how I had marked it, but price literally melted, setup changed. I did not chase this to the downside. Because after price got here, you would have noticed that this was actually a liquidity sweep on H1 as well. So you could have taken a quick sell coming back into this psychological level, but I did not chase this one. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm looking forward for price to definitely come back to the highs of April 22. That red line you see there. So if I can get an entry, all I need is an entry on GBP USD, a nice retracement. That would definitely be me jumping into this trade. So let me just check the time. All right, it's an hour 30 until we get to the stock market open. So if price gives us that retracement we want to see here, I will definitely go in with longs. My buy bias will only be violated if price breaks this low, which means price can come as low as this level, as low as this level, and my buys will still be valid. But if we violate this low now, then that will most likely be another setup forming. Oil. Yesterday I had this point of interest. I did not take this trade though. So I also have this psychological level on the bottom. This looks also like a liquidity sweep of these two zones. So until we break here, we cannot buy. I would rather wait for price to break, retest for me to take buys. And with what's happening in the Middle East, I believe there's some friction happening there. At some point, oil might continue selling. So I also have that resistance level near the 200 EMA. So if price does come here, if we get any 200 EMA reaction, especially on a higher time frame like this, that could lead into a major sell-off on oil. So that's one thing we just need to take note of. This is still a point of interest for sales. If we still fail to break that level there, price will most likely retrace back into this week's open price, which is right there. So that's my view for oil. So I'm just explaining everything on my watch list. This one I don't trade it. I just added it here to just check that SMT divergence. So for now, price is retraced a bit. Just move this order block here. All right, so for now, we are just stoking. For now, we are just stoking. Hey, GU is looking so nice for me, guys. I don't know. Maybe it might do other things, but it's really looking like a very awesome pattern. So yeah, that's it for today's analysis. If I get the setups, I'll share with you guys. If I'm on my phone, if I'm on WhatsApp, I'll share with you. But I'll just be paying attention to the points of interest which I've just marked now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.